All right, check 1, 2. All right, I think the audio is good. Cool. I've recently created a bit of a new setup here, so just giving it a quick test. Michaela is going to be running a conversation this evening. Was Thanos right? If you have to do a quick Google of who Thanos is, go ahead. Check out his...
What up, everybody?
Hey, how's it going? Hey, Michaela. I didn't know I was muted on Discord.
Oh.
Hey. Yeah, hey. We are live now. I just wanted to come on a little bit early and just mention to everyone that today was the Pangburn Foundation Day of Giving, and we gave away 1,000 meals today.
Nice.
And of course, I do that with my Mr. Noodle packages, which I still eat and love. Sometimes I have them for lunch. Drop an egg in there with it. Oh, yeah. But it all went really well. I got some great footage. I'm going to be releasing a video on our main channel at youtube.com/Pangburn with some cool interviews I did today. And it'll be short and sweet. But tomorrow, huge announcement, video content, and some amazing artwork. That's all related to our first event back, big live event back after COVID.
Yes.
And that's all dropping tomorrow. So hope everyone's excited to see what that is, what's going to be going on. I'm really excited about it. So that's what's going on with me today. And how about you, Michaela? How are you?
I'm good. I had jujitsu today, and I learned how to do a scissor sweep. And it was super, super fun. And I got tossed around like a rag doll a little bit.
And how do you feel about that?
I always laugh. Like, it makes me giggle. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I want to get back hitting the bag. There's a boxing gym right near my place, so that's kind of my next thing after I get
to
through
it.
this
What are you
busy
saying you want to
stretch.
do it for? Just go do it.
Yeah, and I know. I've been kind of putting in like 18-hour days for a long time now, so I didn't have quite enough time. Like, I gotta sleep at some point, but yeah, I'm gonna free up my schedule a little bit in the new year. So yeah, get back to boxing.
Good.
Yeah.
I expect video footage.
Yes, I will definitely. Let me post this on Twitter as well.
I'm really looking forward to tonight's discussion. It'll be interesting to talk about, like, because was Thanos right? I mean, if you look at what happened in Eternals, if Thanos hadn't did what he did, the entire Earth would have been destroyed.
Right.
Like, literally destroyed by the Celestial that was inside. So it'll be fun to talk about, like, post-hoc justification and moral relativism and stuff.
Yeah, and I think if we maybe for people who aren't as informed on the lore, explain kind of what the moral dilemma is, and then people can weigh in on it, and then maybe hold off on telling them what Thanos did, and maybe give it to him as like, okay, what would you do if you believed X or were in this situation? Not trying to tell you how to do your show, but
no, it's okay. I just dropped this giant rectangle of magnets that
Oh,
I'm working on, and
as one does.
now they're all crinkly, and I gotta figure out how to fix it. I love magnets. They're magic. They're made of magic.
Yeah, I've dealt with
I
a
don't understand.
couple people today that have said, "Oh, a Mr. Noodle package isn't a meal." Those are people who obviously have lived where they didn't have to have it as a meal. But for
Yeah,
me,
well, I mean, that was my first thought, but then I was like, you know what? I've been hungry to the point where I didn't have any food, and I
I
would have been
mean,
just stoked.
I remember at university, I had 18 days left to survive, and I had 18 packs of Mr. Noodle left.
And you dated them, and you wrote on them with a Sharpie.
So- I didn't go the Sharpie route, but I knew the math, and and I took on the challenge. But it's with Mr. Noodle too. Like, yeah, if someone has has an egg around, crack an egg in there, throw some veggies. It's pretty versatile. But I still love to this day cracking the pack into kind of more smaller crumbs and dump that
Like
spice in there,
chips, we
shake
all
it out.
know.
Yes. I like to outline this every year just so people can bask in the
So the
pleasure of
new
that.
people can learn
Exactly.
about the history
Why
of
am I
you,
not
and
sponsored by Mr. Noodle yet? This is like
do they know you exist?
I think I sent them an email last year and I was just like, "Hey, I am Mr. Noodle." No response.
Send them a serious email.
No, in all seriousness, I did send them a serious email. I can't remember if I received like a canned response or any response, but yeah, I hope one day to like get them involved so we can like take like huge truckloads of this stuff down there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to like go on Instagram and like post about it and tag them in it and stuff. That's how I got sponsored by the magnet company that gives me free magnets to play with.
Or better yet, someone else does that. I hate going
Well,
on
do you have someone
Instagram.
else doing that for you?
Do you want to be Thanos or don't you?
Well, Thanos gets his head chopped off. I don't know if
And he's got like this,
spoilers for a 3-year-old movie, but
and he's got a nutsack chin. But maybe some
yeah.
people want that.
Did you see the epic rap battle between Thanos and Oppenheimer?
No.
It's so excellent. Oppenheimer just destroys Thanos.
Oh yeah.
It's like, so I was like, my boy Oppenheimer, good job. Like, I was so proud of him.
Just the answer for everything, it seems, in lore these days is chop their head off.
When is that? Who is giving you that as an answer to anything? What questions are you asking?
It's just simple. It's like if someone doesn't like what you like, chop their head off.
I don't think anyone's saying that but you right now.
Well, yeah, right now.
No, I'm saying you right now. Like, nobody else has ever said that, and I don't think you have either.
The quantum said it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna I'm gonna invite some people.
Get out of here with that.
I'm gonna invite some people to the room. I'll leave you to speak with this psycho killer.
Speaking of psycho killers, what's up, Mace? What's up, psycho killer? I'm just gonna call you killer. Or do you prefer psycho? I don't know. What a weird formality that I just asked. What was that? We're talking about whether or not Thanos was right. Whether or not it's right to, like, so Thanos saw the problem of there's too many mouths to feed and not enough resources to get around. So his solution was get rid of half of the people so that the other half can flourish. Is that right? Is it wrong? Let's talk about it.
It is wrong.
Why do you think it's wrong? Why is it wrong? I want to hear your reasoning. If you're talking, I can't hear you. Let's see. Swaxy, Mace, John, what do you guys think? It was Thanos, right? Is it justifiable to reduce the number of people in order to make the resources that are available spread further?
No, because
Nobody
Malthus
say
was wrong.
anything.
Well, I guess I should say and like explain your answer, because I mean it's easy to just say like yes or no, but I want to talk about why or why not.
I would say no, because Malthus was wrong.
I
Basically,
can't really hear you.
while
Let me
there's a
turn you up.
finite amount of resources, the potential for life to be more efficient with its resources is theoretically infinite. So, like, just the basic premise doesn't really work. First of all, and second of all, Thanos murdered half of the population because of his own arrogance and belief that he was right. You always have to allow for the possibility that you're wrong, and being so arrogant that you're willing to like murder like trillions of people because you're just so convinced you couldn't possibly be mistaken is not a good worldview either. So not only is he wrong, he should have believed that there was enough of a chance for him to be wrong to not do what he did. Oh, that'd be my take.
Narcotic shrimp, what do you think?
Yeah, like this is a cartoon, but like if I were to take this seriously, yeah, I don't think you have the problem of deciding which portion of the population to cut off. Are you gonna do it arbitrarily? Are you gonna like choose it? I mean, broadly
It's
speaking,
arbitrary.
it's what?
It's arbitrary. So if it's
He
dispassionate.
said it
Like
was at
a
random.
random 50% is gone.
So the hypothetical is like you can choose to destroy 50% of the population or not. So even if that's the hypothetical, I still say no because you're still making the decision to kill off half the population. Like that's a pretty tough thing to justify, and I just like as a broad mentality, it just doesn't fly for me.
But if they were gonna die anyway, like if they were all dying from lack of resources, lack of food and stuff, and they were all miserable, wouldn't it
Well, you
make
don't
sense?
know that. It goes back to you don't know that. You could always be wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not wrong if you're seeing people like starving to death and having to go without because there's not enough to go around.
I disagree. Like if someone's starving to death and let them die, then let someone else eat them. Like these are terrible, terrible, terrible situations. Very unlikely to happen. But like, I still don't think that'd be a solution.
I mean, also wouldn't you run into the problem of like the cycle just happening again if you just like wait a few years? Right? Because like let's say like it's inexorably the case that our resources are finite, and the second the universe hits a certain population, all of a sudden they run dry. Wouldn't you just run into the problem of like what every 50, 100 years you have to cull like just every single time? So like maybe that's like what you do, but like if you agree to the premise that this is necessary, you necessarily agree to the premise that you have to repeat it multiple times. So
But you might
that's
not have
interesting.
to. I mean, what if they learn from the fact that if they don't get their shit together, half of them are gonna be killed, and
I mean,
that
like, it
forces
depends on
them
what you mean by
into
shit together. You mean shit together as far as population control or as
well,
far as
no, shit
resource
together in
management?
terms of like learning how to share resources and learning how
Right.
to do things smarter.
But then couldn't
If you're
that
living
apply
under the
before?
threat of like genocide.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, couldn't that apply even before a snap happened? Like, see, you just allowed for the possibility that they can get more efficient with their resources. So if that's even possible, then that throws out the idea that there should be a snap in the
Yeah,
first place.
but if you can learn how to do it when there's half the people and the same number of resources, same amount of resources, maybe it's easier to do something when you're not under duress.
I mean, probably, but I don't think easy is a very good justification. I don't know. It's just if you agree that the population can get to a point where they're efficient enough with their resources to sustain that large of a population, if you agree to that, then that makes the idea of having a snap in the first place untenable and immorally untenable because it means they could become that efficient without a snap in the first place, theoretically. And if you don't think that's true, if you don't think it's possible to get more and more efficient with your resources like Malthus and Thanos did, then that means you are cool with the snap, and it means that you're going to have to snap regularly to keep population down, or they're going to have to do it themselves, right? That's how I'm understanding it, and I just think that the capacity for life's ingenuity is basically limitless. Innovation is basically limitless. Our potential to get more efficient is basically limitless, meaning that while our resources are finite, the way like our efficiency isn't. So I think as long as that's on the table, I think it's pretty fatalistic. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good call. I would not support the big angry grape.
Can I jump here in now?
Please.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you didn't hear me saying before, when apparently my new headphones weren't working, was very similar to what John just said. I think it's definitively evil, if you want to use that term, what Thanos did, because of the simple fact that if you look at it from
I think we lost you again. Yep, he's gone.
right, so if you look at it from an evolutionary perspective, the people in society who are better at managing resources in the critically short of resources scenario, they will be the ones who have more of their population surviving the limited resource situation and going on to the next generation. Whereas if you're just doing arbitrary snaps that are killing off roughly equal amounts of all people.
Lost you again.
Lost him again, but I see his point.
Yeah, you just.
And you're
It's an
up
uphill
again.
battle. It's an uphill battle.
I believe in you.
Okay, I'll let someone else take over.
No. Okay, well, I think I see what your point was, is that, like, look, if there's going to be mass die-offs, might as well have them be, like, evolutionarily productive mass die-offs instead of random ones.
Might as well have the worthy survive.
Yeah, but let's pretend like, let's take this out of like an Infinity War like context and just say like, look, you have everybody in the universe and they're all gonna die in 5 years unless you kill half of them now, and that's just the parameters, and there's no wiggle room because mostly I've been arguing with the wiggle room. In that scenario, like if you knew for certain from like God's mouth to your ears, I mean, like, yeah, you have to kill 50% of random people just because they're gonna die if you don't.
I think Thanos thinks that is the case.
No, I know he thinks that, but he's delusional and insane. He's a madman. That's why he's wrong, because he's insane. I know that's what he thinks, but he's wrong. But it's why, from his own personal perspective, like, he wouldn't be evil. I think you could maybe, I don't think you could claim criminal insanity, but the fact that he genuinely believes that actually does make him personally a bit less morally culpable than somebody who didn't believe that. But but the action itself is still wrong, I would say. But he gets off a little bit because he's actually insane and he actually believes like he's in a prisoner's dilemma here, and he's not. Um, so it's kind of interesting. He was wrong, but like him personally, morally, is a bit more complicated, which is interesting. Great movie too, honestly.
It's a great whole TV series made of movies. It's great. Plus the Hawkeye show, new episode drops in like a couple hours. Super excited.
Oh shit, that's right. I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah.
They have Jeremy
That's some
Renner
good
drinking
shit.
out of a coffee cup that says Thanos was right.
That's so sad. Imagine being the Avengers and seeing that shit. He's like, yo.
Yeah, like he's literally at like the ballet or whatever, and he goes to take a
Black
piss,
Widow died
and
for
it's
you.
written on the urinal. Like,
I'm only on
Black
episode
Widow
2.
died for you fuckers. Yeah. Also, I think that Kingpin's coming back. Very heavily teased in that show. It feels like Kingpin. It makes me happy. I want bring back Daredevil. God damn it. Save Daredevil.
honestly, though, for a long time, I thought that Thanos was right. But then if you look at what happened in the Eternals, is everybody okay if I spoil Eternals?
You can spoil Eternals. I haven't watched it, but I haven't watched it because I don't care.
Go
I
for
haven't
it.
seen that yet, but it looks crap anyway, so you can
Okay,
spoil that
so-
one. Just don't spoil Hawkeye or Spider-Man.
Okay, I won't. I haven't seen
Yeah.
Spider-Man. I'm probably gonna go see it next weekend, but yeah, I won't spoil
seeing it
Hawkeye.
Christmas Eve.
That's dope, actually.
Well, it's 'cause
But
it's like
Hawkeye is
the-
fucking
the only
awesome.
way
It's
I could
worth
see
the
it in IMAX.
$8.
I'd reserve very far away.
Awesome. Okay, so Internals. Basically, there's a celestial growing inside the Earth, like the monsters from the Cabin in the Woods. And if there's enough human energy, then the celestial can like grow and be birthed from the planet and destroy the planet and everyone on it. So when Thanos snapped his fingers and erased half of the population, the celestial essentially just went back to sleep and it couldn't grow anymore. And then once Thanos came back, the Eternals had 7 days to see if they wanted to do something about it or not. So if Thanos hadn't done what he had done, then the Earth would have been literally destroyed. So let's
Alright,
use
but
that
he
to
did-
talk about post-hoc justification.
Yeah, post hoc. That's some bullshit. He didn't know that. That's funny though. What'd they do? Did they sing it a lullaby? Now I'm curious.
They turn it into
main issue-
marble. It's a giant marble fucking guy coming out of the Earth that doesn't cause any fucking hurricanes or earthquakes or anything. It's just a guy coming out of the Earth. They turn him into stone, and he's just there now, and there's no problems with that apparently. Like,
Right. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the situation, right? See, that's an example where you actually like know for certain what's gonna happen. Like you actually know because and you know that because it's like a magical process and it's been like done and redone multiple times. So you just know because you've seen it before. It's been demonstrated. But with this like population bomb stuff, like the human beings were doing this in the 70s too. We thought like we were all gonna die, and now we know that was wrong and Malthus was wrong and we were wrong. So it's like it's a good thing we didn't do anything too drastic back in the 70s because we were wrong. Like that's just kind of the idea. It's kind of just like this. The way I have to take it is just being kind of humble about it. The eternal thing is different because you've seen it before.
I have
Basic
some
cause and effect.
logistical questions for Thanos.
ask him of us.
go
We'll
for it.
see what we can do.
Why couldn't
The
he
answer's
just
gonna be
snap?
magic.
Why couldn't he just snap away the Celestial?
Right.
I don't know if
Well,
he knew
didn't
about
know
the
it
Celestial.
existed.
I don't think he knew.
Oh,
Why
okay.
couldn't he have snapped in
No.
double the resources? Why couldn't he have snapped in
Yeah,
double the
no,
size of the universe?
I have a
Why
bunch
couldn't he-
of
there's a
other
lot of stuff.
questions.
Because
But-
genocide is the only way
Yeah, because he's a genocidal maniac. That's what he wanted from the beginning.
All you
He's
guys saw the movie,
resentful.
right?
Although
Yeah,
I
we've
was
all seen all the
thinking-
movies.
Although I was thinking, why didn't he snap in more resources? The issue of that question is the powers that the stones have are kind of vague, and it's not clear whether or not they
they're
have
not
the power
vague.
to create matter or not. But
They do.
we
It's not
know
vague.
that.
The power of the stones is infinite. The
Have you
stones
seen
do it.
WandaVision? If she can do that with just the power of the Mind Stone.
Well, no, it's just part of the lore. Like if you have the Infinity Stones, you're God. You can do it.
Mace, I have an answer for you.
So should Thanos have had the power to create double the resources?
Where would all the resources go?
He
Like-
didn't because he was a genocidal maniac.
Like there's just gonna be like
Post-hoc
silos and fields
rationalization.
popping up and houses getting
Well,
destroyed.
another question. Another question I had. Another question is if he's allowing the stones to pick 50% at random, isn't there a chance?
Oh, sorry.
Isn't there a chance that he might accidentally kill off all the women and then all that will be left are just the men, and then we can't reproduce, and then we all
What are
die
the
out
odds of
anyway?
that, though? I mean,
50-50, isn't it?
well, if that happened, yes, we wouldn't be able to reproduce, but it'd be a pretty sweet ride for a while.
really, with no women?
That would suck.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, another thing I have a question on. Is it 50% of every species or 50% of all life in general?
Every living creature.
If it's
Yeah, well,
all
here's
life
the
in
thing.
general,
Yeah,
isn't there a
crops.
risk? Hang on, isn't there a risk that all of the 50% of life forms get taken from one species, and then he just wipes out a species and doesn't affect anything else?
Also, isn't there the problem that a lot of natural, quote unquote, natural resources are also living beings, like plants and crops and stuff? Like this was not thought out.
Another thing I have a question on is what if there's like only one?
It's so
What was
unlikely.
that, Shrimp?
It's so unlikely. If you take like 8 coins and flip them so you have 8 tails, it like never happens. It's so unlikely. If you do that for like a whole population, it's like not gonna happen.
I mean, there was only 1 in 6 million whatever chance that they would win, and they did. So, but they also had
I've
Doctor
actually seen an
Strange.
interesting theory about that. To nerd out just for 1 second, Michaela.
The moral.
Go for it.
Technically,
They've
hold
got-
on. Technically,
No, they're just discussing, talking about how this happened and what.
Simba,
all-
can you mute?
What happened?
Okay, go ahead.
interesting theory. Technically, if you guys watch Doctor Strange, there's a character called the Ancient One, and she could see the future, but she couldn't see past her own death. And
Yeah.
it was like a pretty scene. So, logic would say that the same applies to Strange. So it's actually very possible that there's like a lot of realities where the Avengers won, but Strange died. He could only see the future in which he also lived. So it's possible that like he was playing favorites a little bit there. The odds could have been better than we thought they were, which is kind of an interesting
Doctor Strange would lie, though.
lore for anybody who cares. What do you mean why?
I don't think he would like keep that information from Tony. Like, I don't think he would
I don't
say
think he- no, I don't
there's
think
only
he
one
keeps that
chance.
information.
If
There's
or do
only
you
one
just
that
think
he
like
can
his
see.
data might be
Can't see
skewed?
past his, yeah, I mean, like Michaela, he can't see past his own death. It's just how the magic works. I don't think he was being
Right.
like malicious. I'm just saying it's possible there were other realities in which like Tony lived, but he died, but he couldn't see it because he died, so he couldn't see past that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Which is interesting. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like Doctor Strange was like being like malicious.
Oh, okay. I'm like, do not besmirch the good name of Doctor Strange. I love him.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, no. You were talking about post hoc rationalization for the Eternal. Like, nah. Thanos' whole plan is post hoc rationalization. He was just resentful and bitter that nobody listened to him, and he wanted to kill everybody, and then he had to come up with some reason why it was cool for him to kill everybody, and then he made that shit up. Like, I'm not on Team Thanos. I'm against Team Thanos.
Is anybody here on Team
Bullshit.
Thanos?
well, I
Team Thanos is
wasn't
a hard
on
team to be on.
Thanos until he said that he didn't actually have any real moral reason for doing what he did, and he was just being insane. So that swayed me in his
Said that.
direction.
When did he
When
say
did
that?
he say that? Did he say that in the
I think
comics?
he's talking about Endgame.
Hmm?
Andy?
He didn't say that in Endgame. I've seen that movie like.
He said something like that. No, he didn't really, but he's just like, in Endgame, he's like, look, obviously, if I do this, everybody who lives is going to be really mad and try to undo it. So actually, I'm just going to like murder everyone and start over. He kind of went a
Oh
little bit
yeah,
crazy.
whenever it was old Thanos that
Yeah.
came back through the
I'm going
portal.
to enjoy it. I'll shred you down to the last atom. Wahahaha. He got a lot
And
more
create a
mustache
new
twirly at
universe
the end.
teeming with life that knows not what it has
Yeah.
lost, but only what it has been
Oh,
given.
God.
Okay,
The
yeah.
fact you could quote that much, I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
He got mustache twirly at the end a little bit. I mean, like, the ethic was the same, but it wasn't really the same.
Yes, and that's what I like about him. Evil.
Probably made him a worse character, but at least it was honest to like what he actually was. Like everyone.
Well, because he hadn't completed his arc.
Yeah, but
Technically, he progressed.
my moral axiom is that evil is preferable to good.
It's yours.
Yes.
We're gonna need to hear more about that.
Well, first of all, define evil and good real quick because like that's kind of
But
important.
please don't take an hour. Just like the quick definition.
Yeah, give us the 60-second version.
It's exactly what it sounds like. Plain black and white, and I'm as dark as night.
Okay, edgy.
Define evil. Define good really quick.
I'm
because
just
if I don't
messing
know
around.
what you mean.
I'm just messing around. Sorry. No.
Oh, I was so excited.
Sorry, I thought we were going on like some Play-Doh, like justice is
I know.
like
I was really
the
excited.
stronger.
Fuck.
I know. I thought we were going to get some bad boy philosophy in there for a second. I can play devil's advocate for Thanos if you want.
Don't play with my heart like that.
This is
Okay,
why
do it.
philosophy is so silly. You can make anything seem philosophical. Like
It's true. You can make anything seem that way.
think
The
about it.
untrained eye. I can play devil's advocate for Thanos if you want.
Dave's advocate. Who's Dable? Okay, sorry.
How'd you put the Thanos graphic in that? That's cool. I haven't figured out how to put graphics in stream. You're gonna have to teach me how to do that, Michaela.
What? I'm not running this.
Oh.
I don't have the technology to stream. I just host.
Oh. What? All right. Well, then Travis will have to teach me how to do this.
Sorry.
Anyhow, yeah, that's epic that Thanos is in there. Anyhow, I can switch gears if you want to make this conversation more interesting. I can defend Thanos.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm gonna get really esoteric. Okay, so the MCU doesn't have a god, like a real one, and therefore morality doesn't really exist, and therefore Thanos can't be wrong.
I disagree with your premise.
Actually, no. Here's the thing. Actually, I have a new premise. The second Thanos got all the Infinity Stones, he basically became God. And in being God, he represents the moral order in the universe. And therefore, since he did something, it's inherently moral because he's God. Therefore, he's right. You actually can't beat that argument without going out of universe.
I'm so happy.
I disagree because that premise hinges on the idea that morality is necessarily tied to a god, and that the might of that god is what makes right.
Okay, so if morality doesn't come from God, where does it come from? Because either Thanos was right or it's completely subjective and it wasn't. Either way, Thanos can't be wrong.
It comes from the exact same place that God came from, which is that it just
Where does
is.
morality come from in the MCU?
In less than an hour.
I'm just saying usually the way one defines God is being almighty and all-knowing and all-good. Thanos is at least two of those. And if you're saying he's not the third, then it means that there is no morality. So, okay, I can't prove Thanos was right, but I can prove that he's not wrong.
That's actually that's a very modern Abrahamic religious way of looking at it.
Yeah, your premise is kind of gross.
In most of religions throughout history, gods were not the arbiters of morality.
Yeah, morality
Well, okay, look, I'm defending a purple genocide maniac. Okay, cut me some slack. I'm coming up with this stuff on the fly.
Well, you're doing a bad job. Sorry.
All right. Well, if you want to do a better one, go right ahead.
Well,
who can do better? Let's hear it.
Zeus had a lightning bolt, right?
I thought that there was a god in Marvel. Like, wasn't there?
Well, there's the Celestials. and there's like
They're lesser. They're not real.
yeah.
This is a
Not
sort of
true
divine figure striking people down motif that is around.
Actually, here's the
Zeus.
problem, though. I think I just destroyed my own premise because if the multiverse exists, if that's confirmed in the Spider-Man, he's not God anymore because he's limited to his universe.
Well, we already know we have the multiverse because they released the title Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of
true.
Madness.
It's true. And the Infinity
Marvel
Gauntlet
playing
is
themselves
usually-
again.
God damn it. Okay, well then he's not God, so it doesn't work. But in the universe, he's God. So for all intents and purposes,
And
know.
that's so. I mean,
Can't prove
okay,
he's
well,
wrong, basically.
within my country that I have supreme control over, for all intents and purposes, I am God. So therefore,
yes,
am I
that's how that
the
works.
author of justice? And
Well, I mean, some people would say that's the case. Who are they to argue? Because morality is just subjective. So, the only morality that's ever like objectively verifiable is the one that gets a gun shoved in your face if you don't follow it.
I strongly disagree with that.
Gauntlet's the biggest gun ever.
I disagree.
All right, well then where does morality come from in the MCU? How can you prove that he's wrong?
I mean, I would venture to say that I don't know exactly if they maybe thought this through, but I would venture to say that that
You're cutting out a bit, man.
I personally believe morality.
Try again.
Morality exists because it does. It has no source.
All right, well that's not a convincing argument to Thanos. Thanos can wipe your mind and make you believe that he's right. What then? He could.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
he
that's
could do
actually a good
that.
point. If you
Hold on, actually, this destroys his motive in Endgame. He could just wipe everybody's minds like very easily. Why didn't he do
what
that?
the fuck? This is like one giant episode of CinemaSins.
Yeah, like this, like after he gets the gauntlet, it should be basically over. Like, there's no reason there should be any conflict after that. He could change he could just rob everybody of free will. He could change their memory. Like, it's wild.
Especially when what we learn like in the Loki show, like there's no reason for conflict ever in this universe.
Oh,
I mean, part of being a villain
does destroy the God argument.
I mean, part of being a villain is like not thinking things all the way through, and also underestimating your opponent, and like
Underestimating the
weird
good of
reasoning as part of your
humanity.
plan.
You're the
So
Joker.
it's not too egregious. Like,
I don't know, but like he had like God power. Like he didn't have to plan it out. He just had to like think about it, like for 3 seconds.
but he's also like insane or something, right?
He is a
I'm
madman.
I'm
I don't
surprised
think
that it even worked. Like with how kooky
I don't-
Thanos is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's like actually mentally unstable. I think he's ideologically possessed, basically. I mean, he's
That's a good
madman, but
distinction.
it's like it depends on how much it just depends on what you define insane. Like I wouldn't call him insane like the Joker. I'd call him insane like Hitler or Stalin was insane.
Well, see, now I'm back on his side.
All right. Any more attacks on Thanos? I'll get less metaphysical, and I'll start making like Malthus arguments. It'll be fun. I don't know. Like
He seemed like a bad dude. I don't really like him.
I mean, he killed
seemed like
Gamora.
okay, but here's the thing: he never killed any of the Avengers. How about that? Like
He
he
killed
could've
Gamora. She was a Guardian.
Okay, but like she's not an Avenger, so who gives a
He
shit?
stabbed Tony and almost killed him.
Okay, how about
He
let's
would have
say
let him
he
die.
he
Not
never
an
killed
Avenger,
anyone he
ergo
didn't
fuck
believe.
that bitch.
Never killed anyone unnecessarily. Let's say that, as far as he was concerned. Like on.
He didn't
Titan,
really need to
he
kill
wiped out
Loki.
everybody.
Just being justified in his own eyes doesn't mean anything.
He was attacked. He was attacked by Loki. It was self-defense.
Yeah, but what was that attack gonna do? Loki was like an ant.
It was
to
self-defense.
If
The knife could have been enchanted. He didn't know. He was going for the neck.
Yeah, I mean that's close to the head, right?
He defended himself, and then he
Yeah,
eliminated the threat.
but Ebony Maw let Hulk beat the shit out of him, and that was fine. He didn't kill the Hulk.
He eliminated the threat there too. It just happened to be a knockout. Like, look, in high pressure self-defense situations, Michaela, you can't think these things through. How dare you?
Yeah, but he's
An
Thanos.
important part
He has the
of
power to slow down time if he wants.
The law is
important part
blind,
of
Michaela. The
whether
law
what
is
you're
Oh wait, no,
blind.
he didn't have the time stone yet. Never mind.
It's true.
An important
See,
part
now
of
they're
like
making up material facts, Your Honor.
Jesus Christ.
isn't intent
I'm gonna lawyer
important
this
though?
shit.
Like he had the clear intent of like wiping out a bunch of people. That's pretty bad, right?
Yeah, but it was for like a good reason. It was because like otherwise they were gonna die no matter what. But
Horrible,
his way,
painful,
the other
slow,
half lived.
terrible deaths. He thinks he's doing them a mercy. It's like
Yeah,
shooting a
it's part
dog
of
in the face
starvation.
after it gets hit by a car, and
What would you wanna-
there's no chance it's gonna live.
It's like
No, but
everybody's
that's
starving versus
it's
like
like
half of the
shooting
people
a
having a
dog in the
painless death.
face when it's like shooting a dog in the face without the permission of its owner, and also if it's debatable that it'll actually die or not.
No,
Well, as long
no,
as it
it's
saves
more
the other-
like it's more like shooting a dog in the balls after it's been hit by a car, and it's like, yeah, okay, you had good intentions, you wanted to kill it, but why did you have to shoot it in the balls?
I'd
He just
rather
had bad
die than
aim.
balls.
No, you aimed for the balls.
Should have gone.
Oh.
Thanos is neutering the universe. Is this the take?
Well, it's just there's so many better ways he could have achieved the same goal that he was trying to
But
achieve.
none were as efficient apparently. Because
And
efficiency
there
is
were
really
more
broad when
efficient
you have
ways
the
he could have
God
gone
glove.
about it.
Random, dispassionate, fair.
Yeah, but we already
Passionate.
discussed how doing it randomly presents a load of other problems, because what if the
Right, but you have to
stones
take it- you have to-
randomly decide to wipe out entire species and then leave other
Right, well-
species completely untouched?
Present a defense. Here's the thing. One is that while Thanos had a moral imperative to do this, it's still a moral conundrum. The best, most fair way he could think of was random. To do it any other way was, in my client's eyes, to give him more power than he was already taking on, and he didn't want that moral burden, first of all. Second of all, the odds of that happening are exceedingly, exceedingly low. So low that they're a rounding error to any supercomputer, because we're talking trillions upon trillions upon trillions. 3, shut up. I want to talk about it.
3,
And
leave me alone.
I rest my case. Also 4, the God Glove is incredibly powerful. Every time we've seen it used, we see the type of strain it puts on the user. Like, that all takes a whole lot of mental function that he might not have had while wielding such enormous power. Like, you might have noticed, after he did the snap, he got rid of the stones pretty immediately for a reason.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
they
great
killed
person
Tony
cost to
Stark. Yeah.
himself. Huh? Yeah, see,
They killed Tony.
They killed the lesser man, and him, they damaged
How
him
dare
too.
you describe Tony Stark as a lesser man?
Well, I mean, look,
They
I'm
killed
defending-
Immortal.
Look, this is more prejudicial than probative testimony. I would like to strike it from the record.
You're in law school now, aren't you?
No, but I do mock trial. I know a lot of shit.
He watches a
about
lot
shit.
of Law and Order.
Go to law school. Holy shitballs.
It's the plan. Eventually, they'll probably
What
let
do
me
you
in,
say?
yeah.
That's the plan, stupid.
Huh? Huh? Well, usually they want you to have a degree before some other degree before they let you in.
Yeah, that's true. You do have to go to undergrad first. I forgot about undergrad.
I'll just represent
You know.
myself.
Can I ask a quick question? How do you know if a person's immoral or not? A lot of times, a person's immoral. They
God damn it.
lead you to think that they are moral. Nobody who's, I mean, most of the times, a person that's immoral, their trick is to make you think that they're moral.
They're
You
convincing.
know, because they should have like a little badge pinned to their chest saying immoral.
If
Are
they
they
have
villain
Oh,
or
okay.
are they the hero?
they
Mace
have a
wants to put stars
mustache,
on the
goatee,
back.
Their name
Cross
is the
it out
title
on
of the
the wall.
movie.
Mace, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to put stars on the bad people's chest? That's strange.
Yeah, stars
Oh,
and triangles.
Jesus.
I didn't
Okay,
say
there we go.
stuff.
I was waiting for somebody to say that. Okay, to answer your question, I mean, this is something Jung said. Like, if you can't figure out someone's motives, just kind of look at the results and then just kind of backtrack, which is kind of dodgy. But that's one
Wait.
trick.
Isn't that post hoc? Like we just talked about why that's shitty.
No, post hoc rationalization is when you do something and then you backtrack as to why it was moral. What I'm saying is, like, if you
What
can't
makes
You're
you
just
figure
think?
out
saying like
somebody's motives,
What makes
I
you
look
see
at
think
what
the
they'll take?
results of their actions and then
What,
just say maybe the results are actually what they wanted. Now that
what
doesn't
what
always
makes you think
work,
they'll
obviously, but
take the blame for those results, and not say
that
it's
Thanos
somebody else?
aimed
That
because
Thanos took
these folks. It's those
Thanos took the
folks.
blame. No, Thanos took the
be-
blame. He was proud of it
yeah, Thanos exposited ad nauseum.
about like how epic he was, like, and how like
Positive
grateful
ad
the universe was and
Oh,
shit.
so
Like,
when I say
Wait,
exposited ad nauseum, he explained it a lot.
it sounds
No,
like you
I
take
understood
Thanos
that.
at his word.
I do
I
take
mean,
Thanos at his word.
yeah, because it's an excited utterance. So
You don't think
it's
the
like,
limited resources can be a lie?
huh?
I mean, if we've seen it,
It's
and
possible. I mean, it's possible he was deceiving himself, but like the idea that he'd like monologue about that to everybody
Maybe
to
it's
try to like
maybe
save
it's
his
an
moral
excuse.
character like is insane. Like,
yeah,
Maybe
like I gotta believe Thanos was drinking that
maybe
Kool-Aid.
it could be an excuse for power.
yeah,
But
but like
then
an
he
excuse
destroyed the
to himself. What
stones
I'm saying
as
is that
soon as he used them. So it's like it's not like he wanted power just for power's sake. He destroyed the stones after he killed half the population so that they couldn't be brought
that's
back.
correct. That's
And
correct.
because he didn't
Also,
want to be tempted by the stone's power.
yeah, and well, he also wanted to make sure it couldn't get undone.
Yeah, so if he just
Another
wanted
big thing
power, I
is
feel like
that,
he would
like,
have kept the stones.
Oh, I haven't seen the movie.
okay, well
Oh.
that explains it. Yeah, you want to see the movie? Josh Brolin does a great job. I read underneath the CGI. The voice is so good.
Yeah, it's actually him acting in all the scenes, and he gets upset when
No, I
people
know.
think that he's not there.
No, I know he's there. I can tell. I can sense it.
Yeah.
What's the rule? The rule of the internet?
If it
40
exists, there's
something?
porn of it.
Yeah, which one is that?
Yeah, way to steal that right
I think
from
it's
me.
Rule 42.
Yeah, it's 42. I'm just imagining that now, Josh Brolin's voice.
I
Yikes.
am inevitable, and then just like shoots alien cum.
The
Oh,
porn thing
God.
is Rule 34, I think.
Huh? Oh, I think it's 34. I think you're right. It is 34.
Oh, 34.
I don't know. To answer your question about morality,
42 is the meaning of
either-
life. Sorry.
Either morality doesn't really exist, and therefore you can't say he was wrong because it's all subjective and just people's opinions, which is actually the opinion held by a lot of people on the server, like IRL, which is interesting to me. And the other one is just morality comes from God, whatever God you believe in or decide, whatever highest moral ideal you take on faith. Either way, you can't objectively prove any sort of morality. You just kind of take it for granted.
Disagrees in Sam Harris.
Okay, please tell me. Sam Harris believes that well-being is better than suffering. But he doesn't have any moral basis. It's just a priori assumption. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm saying it's.
Well, Sam Harris believes that money is better than everything.
That's a different avenue. I'm not touching that. But
I didn't hear what he said.
By the way, I would take a third option on the whole, subject.
Andy just said that Sam Harris thinks money is better than everything. So feel free to go rip his head
I
off.
don't know about that.
Are you serious or is that a joke, Andy? I can never tell.
Like he gives away subscriptions to his meditation app and his like what do you call it podcast for free if you don't have money, and he doesn't ask you any questions or anything. He's just like, oh, here, have it for free. Like
if Sam wanted money, he could easily grift to the right very easily. And, and a lot of times he clashes with the right.
I'm just being an asshole.
Okay.
Hey, I am a Sam Harris fangirl, and so my first book that I wrote it when I was 19 before I even knew who Sam Harris was, and that's the main character's name is Sam Harris. And I saw a Sam Harris TED Talk, and I'm like, oh look, my character grew up and became a scientist. So I was so happy.
I don't want to go too far off topic of Thanos, but I would, and I guess it could be relevant.
It kind of is relevant, yeah.
I would take a different option the idea of its morality is subjective or it comes from God. I think both morality and God could be real, and I believe they are, but they're separate. I think it's definitely possible, if God exists, that God could violate morality. I don't think it comes from God. It just is in the same way that God is.
I mean, it depends on what God you're talking about, but you
Interesting.
do understand, like, that would just violate how God is defined in Abrahamic religions, right?
No, I don't care about that. Fuck Yahweh.
Okay, well, then you just use the word God in a different way than, like, everyone else,
No.
which is
It's in a
interesting.
more
But
it's in a more general way. It doesn't have to go with it doesn't have to go
I think we
I
lost
mean,
you again.
I think the most basic description of God is the creator of the universe, and then anything else is like.
Well, that's more like deism than theism, but yeah.
yeah, agreed. I don't know. The basic understanding of like the monotheistic God is just all powerful, all knowing, all good, creator of the universe and humanity.
Yeah, well,
That's
I think that description contradicts with the reality that we're aware of.
contradicts.
I think the answer to the problem of evil is that God simply doesn't. Not that God doesn't exist, but that description of God
Well,
cannot be accurate.
evil according to who exactly? Because then you run into problems, right?
Evil according to the simple existence of evil. It's not decided, it just is.
Okay,
Which is my
like
metaphysical claim that I cannot
that's nice and everything, but
it's
like
pretty not. I
that's
can't really
that's
attack
bullshit.
it. To be fair,
It's
Well,
that,
to be
that's
fair,
well, people. I mean, I don't understand the whole oh well it has to be connected to God thing, because it's like, okay, well, it's kind of like people say, oh well, where does it come from if it doesn't come from God? It's like, okay, well, where does God come from? It just is.
So yeah, but if it just is, then you're saying that it would exist independently of the existence of humanity, right?
Well, I think that we do see moral systems in like other kinds of animals. Like I think
I mean, something like
we've
yeah,
evolved to have morality.
to an
Where did it come
extent,
from? It came from
correct.
evolution. It came from necessity.
In fact, I'm almost more
No, yeah.
convinced that good and evil exist than I am that God exists. In fact, I also care.
I actually agree with that, Andy. I think that's right. I'm not saying that that makes sense because I don't think it does, but I'm in that same kind of area right now.
How can you write if it doesn't make sense?
Huh? Oh, I believe a lot of things that don't make sense, Mace. Because I just can't think of something that makes more sense to me.
Do you think the world is flat?
Here's the problem. Yeah.
Is that what he
man,
said?
like,
No, that's not what he said.
I'm not going to pretend like my
I'm
worldview is
taking a jab
perfectly
at
coherent. yeah, I'm not going to pretend like my worldview is
Oh,
coherent.
what did you say? You damn limey bastard.
I asked John if he thinks the world is flat because he said he believes stuff that doesn't make sense.
Okay, we're going there.
No,
okay.
it is spherical because that's been proven to me. The interesting thing,
you know what I think,
Michaela,
I'm listening.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to talk to you about. So yeah, like there's certain behaviors that have evolved just because humans are social, and like certain behaviors made the monkeys into a team, and monkeys in a team lived longer, basically. But like if it's like you can say that's morality, but like it's interesting though because you run into the problem of it being like no, it's just practical. It's not morality that evolved. It's like
So do we have to have
practicality that evolved.
consciousness? Like do we have to have higher reasoning and self-awareness to have morality?
So. The way I tend to think about it is because if you couldn't have made another choice, then it can't be a moral choice because.
But if free will doesn't exist, which we have good reason to believe it doesn't.
That's a premise I don't accept.
If other animals don't have morality,
I mean, if free will doesn't exist,
how do you explain when animals make sacrifices for other animals?
I thought you were going to say when animals make sex, and I was going to laugh really hard, but that's not what happened.
What do you mean?
I'll be right back.
Like for example, there are examples where you might see a parent animal sacrifice their life to protect their young, or you may even.
Yeah, that's easy. I mean, they want their genes to be passed on, and
but that
if
doesn't benefit them.
If their young are being killed, then their genes are being
Well, it's
Remove
just
it from the
instinct.
table.
It's not morality. Like they didn't make the conscious decision to sacrifice their lives. They had an instinct that was put into them by the evolutionary process to protect their young. And the reason that evolutionary instinct exists is because the young have a better chance of propagating than they do because they're old.
Exactly.
Like
Thank you
they
for
don't know
the.
any of that. It's just an instinct. But
Right.
like
What about male bees?
male bees,
What about
Yeah.
them?
After they've served their purpose, they leave the hive to die. They don't
sometimes
even.
their
They're making
testicles
room for new bees.
Yeah, but that doesn't benefit them.
It benefits the hive. Bees are very
Exactly. It's
like why we make the
morality.
beekeeper. We have
They're
bees.
making.
No, they're
They're
serving the
making.
good of
morality
they're serving the
because
good of the hive by
Yes,
they
they're
sacrificing
didn't
making
make
a
themselves.
sacrifice for the other bees.
But it
okay,
serves the
yes,
good of the hive, which means
okay,
that like
okay. So are they making a sacrifice? Yes. Are they aware that they're making a sacrifice? No, because they're not aware of anything. They're little organic
maybe we don't
robots
know.
with
We don't know if
will.
bees have awareness.
I think we're
Yeah, we
pretty
do.
sure, Michaela.
Yeah, we do. Well, we have pretty good reason to think so.
You think so? You think bees are self-aware?
Like they look like
They communicate with each other, so likely.
I mean, yeah, they have some awareness of their environment, obviously, and they have some intelligence. They can navigate their environment, or to some extent. So, yeah,
Well,
but
I
they're
mean,
not like a
yeah.
human.
Yeah, but why is humanity the standard? Like we don't know if other species have the same level of reasoning or higher than we do. It's just that we talk and build things with our hands.
Hold on. This is a
No,
Thanos
I mean,
argument.
why do we do that, though?
Thanos is a higher being than humans. Therefore, since he's of higher moral reasoning, he's a higher consciousness, he's a higher being, evolutionarily speaking. Does that mean inherently he gets to decide morality and we don't, and therefore he's right?
No.
Hold on.
No,
I think
because morality is not tied to your level of consciousness.
I would
Right, but you
actually
understand that
argue
we're the
he's.
people saying this, and who gives
I
a
would
shit if
argue that cognitively speaking, he's not higher than a human because he's batshit insane.
Well, you
Yeah,
can be
I mean, yeah,
insane and
like
also have a higher cognitive functioning. Like, why do you think people with higher IQs go crazy?
Well, because
Like,
instead of
like-
thinking I'm going to double all the resources, he thinks I'm going to half all the people. Like there's just no logic there.
Well, you only think
Maybe
that
maybe it's
coming
different
into
to aliens.
we'll see. None of our opinions matter because we're lower and he's higher. So
None of
that's
this
it.
matters anyway.
No,
The universe
I
is
think
moving towards inevitable heat death, and there will be nothing
He's
left.
suffered some kind of
Just-
trauma or
that's just
brain
empty
damage.
rhetoric,
He's
though.
mentally disabled.
This is why I hate atheists.
I mean, if that's the framework you want to work with, cool. It's like that a meme of like the skeleton on the bench, and it's like nihilists doing fuck all with their lives because the sun is gonna explode in like 8 billion
Fuck.
years. Great
Oh.
meme. It's just the wrong. It's like it's just kind of like the wrong framework.
I'm just
Oh, no.
joking. I was being nihilistic and as a
I know you were
joke.
being nihilistic. So I think I heard you said, Michaela, that like morality can exist without free will. I'm very interested in that, how that works.
I mean, it works, so I mean, it's
Okay.
happening. I can't necessarily explain it, but it seems to be the case that it exists.
Right, because
How is it working?
yeah.
We don't have free will, but we have morality.
That's your
Okay,
assertion.
you're gonna have to prove both of those. Yeah, you're gonna.
I'm saying I admitted
explain
that I don't know. They just both seem to be the case. I don't know.
Well, they seem to be the case.
I don't have
They
an
seem to
answer.
be the case. Well, I mean,
seems to be the case
why
to
don't
me
we
is
have
that
free will? Why don't we
That's
have
a
free
whole
will? Why are you saying that?
conversation for another day because this is a rabbit hole down which
that'll be my next topic. We'll talk about free will. The answer is
Yeah,
basically
I mean, I can agree that we don't have like libertine or what is it? Libertarian free will? Like, yeah, libertarian free will. But like we have some will. we're not like blind, unthinking robots that just most of us aren't, at least.
I mean,
we have some will.
we kind of are. It doesn't seem that way. It seems like we have free will. Like our brains create that illusion extremely nicely for us.
No, but what I'm
and
saying
it's not really beneficial to lose, to think about the fact that you don't have free will. But losing one's belief in free will does have some interesting consequences,
Yeah,
which
well,
could be
I'm
fun to
saying
discuss
Yeah,
later.
it's a continuum. It's a continuum. Like it's not binary. Like either we have free will or we don't. Like
Yeah,
it's not a binary thing like that.
If you
If
don't
you
want to go
don't
down the
have
free
free
will,
will,
if you
then
don't
that
go down the free will
necessarily
avenue,
means
what's
morality
Okay,
doesn't
I can't
exist.
understand when you all talk at the same time.
If you don't want to go down the free will path, then what's morality?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. You can't just like I don't know.
how
You
about
need to
next
have
Monday we talk about
we need to
this?
figure out what's going on there. But yeah, all I'll say is that free will is a continuum, or will is a continuum. Okay, where the total free will is at one end, and then total determinism is at the other end, and there can be an in between there.
What's in the middle?
Compatibilism. That's literally a term for that. Compatibilism.
Yeah, compatibilism. Yeah.
What does
Yeah,
compatibilism mean?
Compatibilism is the idea that compatibilism is the idea that not having free will is somehow compatible with having will. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
That's not compatibilism.
I don't remember. I haven't thought about it in a while.
That's not compatibilism.
Remind me what compatibilism is.
It's literally a mix of will and determinism. That in
Yeah,
some ways
doesn't
we're
make sense.
determined, and in some ways it does make perfect sense.
That's what
Absolutely.
Peterson says. Yeah, I heard
Well,
him
how
do
does
a
that not
rant
make
about
sense? Why do you think it's a binary? Why do you think that we're either
I mean,
like?
okay. I really don't want to get into this, guys. Like, we'll talk about it.
It's not a
maybe next
binary.
week, okay?
It's not a binary. And if you think that
next
doesn't make
Monday we'll
sense,
talk about it.
you need to read more
I
philosophy.
promise. It's the
Okay.
next episode.
Yeah, let's
Monday
just
night,
So,
we'll talk
John,
let that go. And
would
then
you
I'll let
say
somebody
yes
else
and
handle
no
that discussion
on a
because I tend to
spectrum
get
as well?
frustrated. So Delta will have
Okay,
that
we'll
conversation.
handle it later. But what were you
Because on
saying,
one
Mace?
end of the spectrum you've got yes, on the other end you've got no, and then in the middle you've got maybe.
Not maybe, but maybe.
Okay,
Kinda.
hey, save it
Like
for
we
Monday.
kinda
Save
do.
it for Monday, boys. You have to respect
Yeah,
the
no
moderator.
more free will discussion, please.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about interesting philosophical things like free will. We want to talk about the moral standard of this fictional purple grape with God power.
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
Delta.
I'm playing. Also, you don't have to call me that.
So you don't want to
I
do
can't
morality
allow
either,
that.
right?
Huh?
No, morality is the whole point. Like, that's what we're talking about.
I mean, the thing about Thanos, I'd like to interject,
So
is
what's
that
morality?
he could have he could have just sterilized half the universe and accomplished the same thing.
So true. There's so many.
You're not wrong. I didn't even think of that. Holy shit.
Bro, you could have just sterilized half of them, and like, I mean, there could still be massive like economic damage caused by that. Like, oh, now half of the workforce is depleted in the next generation. But
hold on, that's actually better. That's not even that. That wouldn't just accomplish what he did. That was actually better because it would like not kill anybody and it would last longer. Because if you just killed 50%, like we just go up to replacement rates real quick. But if you sterilize, it's going to take longer for them to get back to where we started. Like, not only is that like the same, it's actually better, like in a lot of ways.
How will it take longer if it's functionally the same?
Because if you killed half the people, like let's just assume like you have child making ages equal, like the people who lost their kids, like let's say, like would get to it real quick, but in this way you have like a whole bunch of
Not
kids,
necessarily. You could have the exact opposite effect.
Okay, possibly. I guess it'd be more guaranteed.
I think John's right, because if you've got more resources, then you have more resources to allow you to look after more kids.
Right. I don't know. I think I was bullshitting. I was kind of operating on the edge when I said that, and you challenged it, and now I'm off the edge. I'm not sure if that was right, but at least you wouldn't be killing anybody. So, it's even better in that sense. Yeah, there's a lot of things he could have done. He just didn't because they wanted to follow the comics, and also because he's a fucking maniac, and he always was.
That wasn't in the comics. I thought in the comics he
In the
wanted
Infinity
to
Gauntlet saga. Well, yeah, he was doing it, but he did the same thing in order to impress Death.
Yeah,
he literally did exactly that.
Motive
I
made more
think
sense.
I think wanting to impress Death makes more sense than trying to.
The power of boners is more compelling to you than.
You want to impress a girl, all you have to do
than trying to save the universe.
It makes more
But
sense
it's far less morally justifiable.
All right, what happened?
No, it's the exactly no. This is also not morally justifiable because he's wrong.
I didn't say justified. I said justifiable. It's different.
No. Like in the comics, he's less delusional, and it makes more sense. The only thing that changes in Infinity War, he's a lot more delusional. That's basically it. Like, it's not more morally justifiable. It was never gonna work either way. I don't know. Maybe to himself. Maybe. I think if that's what you meant.
Okay, if I can take a crack at this, I think John's argument that you just made about comparing the killing people to sterilizing, if you look at the population where 50% is sterile, that means roughly only a quarter of all couples are going to be both sterile. 50% of all couples are going to be one person sterile, and another quarter is going to be both fertile. So you're actually going to halve the birth rate compared to just outright killing 50% of people, unless there's active testing of people's sterility before you even consider whether you're willing to enter into a relationship with them.
I was so dumb. I actually wound up being right. Thank you, Psycho. I mean, let's be honest. Forcibly sterilizing half the universe is pretty fucked up too. Like.
I mean, I think we should do that with humans now, but
why?
Why would you? Why? We're already having a population problem.
No, like if a whole bunch of us fucking died.
Overpopulation is a globalist lie.
Wait, what? Wait, what's a globalist lie? What?
Overpopulation
is a non-issue.
It's true. It's so true.
Then why is Bill Burr talking about it for like 4 specials in a row?
Overpopulation? Oh boy.
I would just start randomly sinking cruise ships.
That's a great bit. The way that he does a little dance when he's talking about it.
All right, I gotta run.
Bill Burr.
You guys have been
Okay, bye.
procrastination tool for much too long. Later.
Hey, Don, how's it going?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Dan.
I thought I heard Don. Ooh, whose picture is Ness? Nope.
What are we talking about on this live?
Oh my god.
Free
That's
will.
her name. No.
Don't tell him that stuff we were talking about.
We're not talking about. You guys are talking about free will on Monday.
Are we really? Is that the set topic?
Well, he just said that it was.
I promise you,
I don't know. I can't hear half the stuff because everyone's talking over each other.
Well, yeah, he said that because I guess we're talking about whether or not Thanos was right and why.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
I think Thanos killed half the universe's population. That's fucked up. That's what I think.
Thanos sucks. Why is it fucked up?
Because I wouldn't want to be one of those people. So it's fucked up because some of them were. I don't want to die, so I assume other people don't want to die. That's enough for me.
Yeah, but it's not like they're really experiencing death. Like when they come back in what do you call it? The shows. It's like it was like they were asleep for a minute. Like that's it.
That's what it's like when you get choked out or knocked out, or let's say you have a coma and you wake up. It's like, oh, what happened? I just feel like I woke up. But either way, I don't want to cease existing. How about that? I like living. So Thanos tried to cease everyone's existence. That's
not everyone.
It wasn't like
half in order to save everyone.
Nah, he wasn't saving anybody. He put the world in a post-apocalyptic shitscape.
Our world. We don't know about the other worlds.
Well, I care about my world, so.
Okay, how about Fierce Taint? That's your name, I guess. Hi. Can I just call you Ness because you have Ness on your profile picture?
No, you must call me Taint. It's my official name.
I don't want to call a grown man
You
that.
heard the man.
Well, you can deal with it or get
I'll call
dealt.
you Fierce. Because that's also in your name. It's your first name.
Alright, I'm gonna have to change my name to just Taint then.
Ain't fierce.
What do you think about this?
What, the Thanos stuff?
Yeah, I don't know if we've been hearing from you because I just now see
Well, I
your
joined,
profile
I don't
picture.
know, I was just listening, but I mean, I don't know what this argument is all about anyway, but I don't know, killing 50% of the population is definitely wrong.
Regardless of the reason.
I mean, unless, I don't know, it's definitely morally wrong.
Why?
I mean, like, you're just taking away people's lives. Like,
So that those who remain can have a better life.
no, but it's just gonna equalize out again, right? People, I don't know, like in a hierarchical system, you need people at the bottom so that you can be at the top. It's just going to equalize out again over time with the same amount of people, except you're going to get less done because there's less people.
Amen.
Maybe things might become more simpler, but less is going to get done because there's just less minds to work.
There's also fewer minds to do stupid bullshit that keeps us from going forward.
Well, there's still
There's also less smart minds to make us move forward.
What?
Okay,
this is why I like
higher
the comic book
highs,
version
lower
of
lows.
Thanos. Yeah, this is why I love the comics books version of Thanos' reason, where it doesn't involve him having some like weird ends focused utilitarian like nonsense. He was just in love with the embodiment of death. He was a simp for death and wanted to please her and give her a gift. So rather than him trying to like frame to be as a good guy.
All he had to do if he wanted to impress her, he could have just tried to shoot Ronald Reagan.
What?
If you try and kill Ronald Reagan,
Is
you
that
always
your plate up there with the spade and knife on it?
What?
Oh, okay.
What?
Well, I saw that and I thought that was stuff that you just grabbed and put aside for yourself. Check
Hey
it up here.
guys, would you kill Hitler in infancy to avoid the Holocaust? But if you do it, then there's even worse Holocaust 200 years later because we didn't foresee
all the rest
it.
of the knives and forks.
That's not even a question. Obviously, you would let Hitler
Put them up
live.
the top so I can wash
Well,
them.
I would-
yeah, but like
easily grab
But
them.
there's no rules saying that you can't fuck him in the ass,
you
so
don't
that he doesn't
know.
want to do anything later.
But if you don't know, then you do. Then you let him live. You don't
Well, the
let him
thing is, I would be in a paradox loop because my families, my grandparents met because they were Holocaust survivors. So if I kill Hitler to stop the Holocaust, I wouldn't be alive to stop Hitler. It'd be a whole fucking loop the loop.
Yeah, if I was with, I would actually I would adopt baby Hitler. I wouldn't kill baby Hitler. Have you seen pictures of Hitler as a baby? He's adorable. All you have to do is raise him right. Maybe get
Unless
some
he's an
early...
actual psychopath, then there's like
No,
if you have
that's true. People
Yeah, but
who
maybe
know
he
him,
only like rape a few people and like behead gerbils as a kid.
yeah, people who knew him say he was kind of crazy as a kid because like he wanted to commit suicide with like the girl he had a crush on, and like that was how he interpreted having a crush on somebody. It was like, oh, I want to commit suicide with them. If you could just make sure he has like mental health early in life, you could probably prevent a lot of shit. But I mean, yeah, if there was still going to be an even worse Holocaust just later, then yeah, I guess I wouldn't. I wouldn't have to. I wouldn't be able to change the timeline at all then.
Michaela,
Even
what
if
would you do? What do you think? Do you think Thanos was right or wrong?
I think that in some ways Thanos was right. I think he went about it in the wrong way.
Which way do you think he was right?
I think that he was right in that something has to give in a situation like that. If a lot of people are just barreling towards, inevitable demise, if we can intervene, we should intervene, so long as that intervention doesn't cause further harm. And I think it's pretty clear that Thanos' intervention caused further harm.
So you agree with his analysis, not with his praxis.
Exactly.
Easy. Well, it was fun, guys, but my drive from the gym is done. Maybe I'll jump on. I'm not sure, but if anything, have a great conversation, everyone.
Okay, bye.
I love you, Don Don.
Love you too, Andy.
I remember when we first met Don Don on this channel.
Me too. I mean, not we, but I remember when I first.
That was back when we were still having the town halls on YouTube. That's how we all met and got this Discord going.
The beginning of the end. Yeah.
Yeah, Michaela, you're assuming what he's saying is true about the limited resources.
I believe Thanos said his word. I don't know what to say.
I mean, just if we look at it from just like a narrative perspective, it would make more sense. He actually maybe he didn't have to be correct, but it would make more sense if he believed that, because he's the villain and that's his expressed motive.
Well, yeah, and perhaps he's an unreliable narrator, in which case I still believe him. Like,
yeah, because he's not really lying so much as he's doing something.
Yeah, he's just made not seeing things clearly and therefore not communicating and acting on them clearly.
So what if he was just saying that as a means to just? I mean, he doesn't really care. He just wanted to kill.
That would be different.
But you don't know how you can't say with any absolute.
I don't think we could say anything with absolute assurance. Oh, sweetie, what do you want? Do you want to go outside? What do you want? Do you want to go outside? Is that what you want? Do you want this? Yeah? I don't think you want to go outside. Okay.
Michaela, with your logic, if you take out half the population, there'd be more resources for people that live better. If you take out half of that population, the same thing would apply. And you take out even more, right?
Well, there still needs to be a sustainable population. And it's like, I feel like Thanos wanted to do the least he had to in order to solve the problem.
So, what's sustainable population?
What?
Like what would be a sustainable population, though?
I don't know, but Thanos does, apparently. Babysit. I'm not a...
There has to be an explanation for that.
I don't know how he arrived at his figures. Go potty, sweetie. It's Sadie's birthday today. She's 5. And she's barking. No barking. Sadie. Go potty. Silly girl. Whatever, I guess I don't care if she barks.
You can argue that you need more people, hypothetically, right?
Well, I mean, if... if the people that are there, if there's not enough resources for the people, adding more people isn't gonna help.
Yeah, but you have I mean, like people can work, right, and build and stuff.
Yeah, but if there's no resources with which to build,
Resources. I don't get the resource part. I mean, what's the limited resources? We live in a solar system, right? We
there's only so much. For example, there's only so much water on Earth. There's only so much. If we kill all the trees, like if we deforest all of our forests, it's going to take time for new trees to come back. If we cause the species to be extinct, we no longer have that resource.
Oh, so
like,
you believe in overpopulation right now?
I don't know what you think. To be honest, I'm feeling a little bit burned out. I got my butt kicked in jiu-jitsu today, and my mental energies are kind of going. So if you guys want to head over to the tavern, and you can continue to chat and hang out with everybody, and talk about free will, I guess if you want. I might come in and listen. But yeah, just head over there, and I'll see you guys next week. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but I'll figure something out. So, bye guys.
Bye.
Yeah. Travis, are you there?
I was just mostly listening.
Hello.
Hey, Bruce.
Oh, hey, I'm driving. Sorry if there's background noise.
I'm not even sure if we're still live.
It's live, Andy.
Yeah, I guess so.
What's going on?
We were just talking about we're talking about whether or not Thanos was right or not. Why?
It would be. He'd be right if it were a meaningless universe. Yes.
Hmm.
I don't think we even came to a conclusion. Did Andy, right? I mean, I don't really recall any conclusion. Any kind of.
No, I mean, is there ever a conclusion from these talks?
Of course not. Well, I mean, how could there be?
I mean, I don't think one of these has ever ended with everyone being like, okay, this is correct, and we all agree to it.
Sometimes people would agree to some basic, but then it would get into a different topic, and then we would disagree.
Yeah. Hold on a
She
second.
mentioned morals with free will is on top of that. I kind of wanted to ask her, but I mean, I guess whatever.
By what standard is what I always say. I don't care about someone's standard because it doesn't apply to me.
You that kind of makes sense what you're saying, Bruce.
Yeah, I mean, it's people have to agree upon some standard, and how would they do that? Otherwise, it's just tit for tat.
That kind of pretty much answers the question. It does, and it doesn't exist because it's based on standards, right?
That's how I would see it. Yeah.
So that makes sense. There's relatability and relatability.
Is Pangburn still streaming?
Yeah.
What, did everyone just leave?
Yeah, there are a few people.
Seems like it. I honestly don't think I have much to contribute to this discussion myself.
We'd have to break down the scenario into its particulars and then talk about its particulars.
To be rude, but I was just about to get going, actually. But then you showed up, Bruce. And I was like, well, I can't leave the second he comes in the room. That'd be rude.
Well, I'm only taking a little few-minute drive. I guess I got pinged. I was over at a meeting for a couple hours this evening, so I'm going to be leaving in like 2 minutes anyway. So I'll see you guys later.
Hope the viewers aren't going to be. Oh, Mace is back. Hey, Mace, how's it going?
Are we still live?
I guess so. I have no clue what is happening and what is supposed to happen. Peace.
See what you did, Andy? You scared everybody out of the room.
Well, I have that effect on people. Bye-bye.
A fish without crust. I didn't imagine you were going to horribly dislike it in any way, shape, or form, given how much you like quiches. Well, he wasn't like grabbing the, like James wasn't grabbing anyone. His hands were always carefully turned away. Yeah, but he realized that at the last moment. Really touched the arm. That's correct. That was motion on the hand, on the arm like that. It's considered as Okay, well, okay, I'd have to watch it again on the video. It looked to me like his only sort of downward motion was when he was up, sort of going for the ball. Maybe I missed a bit of it, but yeah, fair enough. That's what the analytics can get you in trouble because the numbers are outstanding numbers. Probably look at its impact. Hasn't had an impact. I didn't find out. And Anthony Davis only has. He's got to have to feel it.
Yo, what's going on? Can anyone? Travis, are you there? Didn't think so. Psycho Killer, can you hear me? Well, this is strange. Now is my perfect opportunity to say the N-word.
That outside crust really led to a different texture. Well, it's up next, we got what do you got for us? You guys did. It was a really, really easy vehicle for us to get for a decent and healthy meal. All I need to see is the puppy that's here, and you could just take the money. It was such a tradition. Pretty delicious. This is laid out delicious. I mean, every part of it is fantastic. Egg is perfectly cooked. The squash and that pour batter, perfectly crisp and like creamy in the center. That's what we really get built into this curry. Every penny that you spend. The curry is phenomenal. So they're $15 per steak and I did itself. All of the elements of toasted bread, I know I'm doing very well, but I'm gonna see that.